The setting of 8th century Baghdad lends itself incredibly to an Assassin's Creed setting, and witnessing the story of Basim's early background is by far one of the best decisions. He is a new Assassin's Creed protagonist, and I am absolutely enjoying what I am seeing here. I won't spoil anything, so you'll have to wait for my spoiler review at some point, but this is spoiler free. Need I mention that music is one of the best in this game? Assassin's Creed has never disappointed in music, and Brendan, although I can't pronounce the last name, has done a fantastic job. But it wasn't just him. It was musicians and singers from the Arabic world that contributed to this amazing soundtrack that also accompanies this amazing game. I think Ubisoft, Porto, and the casting and everyone has poured their hearts and soul into this game. But it does have flaws. It does have random bugs, and sometimes I feel that the smaller scope does limit the game to its full potential, because the game is literally begging for more content. And though it's unlikely that we'll get another DLC, because otherwise it would be a DLC within a DLC, I don't think at the same time that adding a few bits of content here and there will necessarily hurt it. It can be a smaller game, but you can still add a bit more content into it, maybe 3-4 hours of side content or anything like that. But still, Assassin's Creed Mirage is amazing. From the very start of the game, you're almost instantly transported to Baghdad. The game doesn't waste time, and it does show how the assassins are trying to basically pick out the evil Templars. That said, the city of Baghdad is so immersive. From NPCs selling and going around the city, you can hear the azan, and you can also hear NPCs haggling with someone on the street. I've listened to many individual conversations between guards, between civilians, and there is so much immersion within the city that sometimes I wished that those immersive events that they talk about would be part of the game. Now take this example for the soldiers talking around here, and then you'll understand what it means.
An inch to the left, to the right, bro.
What a life, eh? Paid to stand around and tell people what to do. I'm very good at it too.
I've got a girl waiting for me back home in Diyarbakir. My parents have met on a keen. Soon I will go to the welcome for a pee an hour ago. That was the highlight of my day.
I was very impressed by the lecture on medicine Master Al-Kindi gave the court.
You think Nabil will win the wrestling again this year? He's getting older. And have you seen the guy from Al-Sham's shoulders?
So you see what I mean? Events like this I think need to be added in more gameplay activities. And every part of Baghdad is immaculate and detailed. Every single area is somewhere you can climb and parkour, and you can see civilians and NPCs doing whatever they want to do. And after Valhalla's disappointing parkour, this represents a return to classic rooftop parkour that we honestly haven't seen in a while. Sure, in Origins and Odyssey you could parkour, you could go over cities and streets and stuff. You could do very much of that, but there weren't zip lines, and the architecture was also different as well. That said, this city is so well researched that it has the elements of historical accuracy of unique buildings in the city. It's very good. At the same time, however, the open world does lack a bit of activities. It feels a little bit empty here and there. You've got towns and villages, you've got NPCs conversing, and they're very interesting conversations, but there are not enough side quests, and I think that even though the scope of this game is small, adding something similar to Tales of Greece wouldn't be a bad thing. At least give us some more story content, because I believe this game is begging for it. It literally is. The other thing that I'm disappointed by is the lack of Mesopotamian ruins. So you have the Wonder of Dur, but you don't have any other unique Mesopotamian ruins either, like Sumerians or Babylonians, which is disappointing, as I'm sure there would have been more. Now I'm getting to the reason why. I do hope that in an update that they at least add a few more recognizable ruins that you will see on the campaign, that you will see on the map. There's some references to Mesopotamia, like you can find a codex, you can find a few references here and there, and Basim's eagle is Enkidu. You may find a reference or two to Gilgamesh. In fact, we have the 40 Thieves quest, right? Now imagine Basim traveling to the lost city of Babylon, and there's so much you could do with it. I also love that if you're traveling in the desert, perhaps we could get special types of bandits, groups hired by the Order to hunt down Basim. Maybe we could get a mysterious shadow special group of mystical bandits or something. A little more detail into this would be awesome. I really want more hidden Easter mysteries or just something to do in the desert. Bear in mind that right now there are no plans to add anything extra, but it wouldn't hurt at the same time if they expanded a little bit, if they added at least a few more hours of content. I really think that the world building is fantastic. You've got musicians singing in the street, and you can bribe mercenaries just like you did in the older games. That's a plus, but I don't see any other real stuff that you can do, and I would like to see more story type driven events, or storytellers telling stories, or maybe even things to listen to. For example, how about we have lectures from ancient professors, because this was the city of knowledge being held by ancient professors. I really would like to see more events like this. I really want to get more involved in the city, more involved with the side quests, more involved with the city's stories. I want to get involved more, so Ubisoft, give us that. Just more details in this world would be awesome. So let's go to combat and stealth. So combat is a hit and miss for me. On the one hand, it can be challenging and force you to adapt. You don't often want to get fight in a group of 20 soldiers all the time, and you have a few options to parry and counter attack. However, I feel the parrying and counter attack and animations are limited, and I want to see more cinematic animations to be added via combat. That said, hiding in bushes and spots where you can assassinate, air assassination, that's great. It's very important you upgrade your skills and upgrade the skill trees to unlock most of the unique assassinations you can do in this game, but basically upgrade everything in the tech tree. There's one thing I don't like about the stealth is that guards can be very hostile to you. Sure, they can be hostile, but the fact that if you commit one crime they can go hostile anywhere in Baghdad, and I feel that a bit odd. I think there should be dialogue noting that if you've done a nasty thing in Baghdad, the news spreads around the guards and they shout at you. I do like the stealth in this game. I think it's pretty much improved. I do like hiding and blocking. So combat can be improved, stealth is much better than Valhalla, and parkour feels okayish to me. And let's go on to the story. I'd say the story is far more invigorating. It does feel a bit rushed at times. Where I would have wanted better pacing is outmatched by the game's desire to be a smaller game, and I think sometimes it may miss the mark here and there because of that. I also want more historical figures because AC has always prided itself on adding historical figures in its stories, yet Assassin's Creed Mirage doesn't seem to feature them as much as they should be. I'm not sure if there's a certain boundary for it within the game. It is a good story, and I'm not expecting it to be revolutionary. It's not that revolutionary. I've not finished the story yet, but it is gripping. It does get you involved. For me at least, I really got it, but its flaws do shine there. Because of the short length of the game, I do feel that the story hasn't had enough elements to be padded out more or less. There are moments where I want the story to be longer, to add in more of those big moments that we need, but they don't exist due to the shorter time frame. It could be that the shorter story could be great, or it could be that some things were cut, or it could be many other issues. But the story is fit in what it does. It does says this is what an Assassin's Creed game should be, and I'm glad that they're at least trying to bring something good with it. Now, you could say that the evil characters are more or less evil, Templar characters need more nuance, but in how many Assassin's Creed games are you going to have a lot of nuance? Because I can argue that in many Assassin's Creed games, there have been a lot of nuance. Just go to Assassin's Creed 3, for example, with Haytham. But that said, I think there should be more story content, and I've been repeating the point. The game does need a little bit more content. Maybe add it as a free DLC or something. Just more stories, more tales, more quests. Just maybe give us 3-4 hours just to pad out things. Because I really think that this is such a rich time period of history, of Abbasid history, that you could add way more DLC if you wanted. But this was designed to be a smaller budget game. And the other thing that I would just finally add with the combat is that the combat is working on Valhalla's story. Now, that the combat is working on Valhalla's mechanics. And some of the animations in Valhalla have crossed over to Assassin's Creed Mirage. And it doesn't look that great, honestly. You can see that they move their arms, they move their legs. There is good cutscenes here and there, but the cutscenes are more or less varying. They're not fully cinematic as they need to be. And I really think that there needs to be some improvement in that department. Because when it comes to Codename Red, they better make sure that game has really good, stunning cutscenes. So it is working off some of the flaws in this game. Some of the flaws in the game says, some of the flaws I think also relate to combat. Combat is built off Valhalla, so there can be janky parkour or janky combat. I do feel that sometimes the NPCs can be better looking in some areas, and I do think that the NPCs can be better looking in some areas, and I do want more side activities. Give us more side activities in the city, because right now you can go to shops, you can interact with a few NPCs, but that's about it. You can't do much else. You can go around the desert, but there's not enough Mesopotamian ruins, and I really want more Isu mysteries, so I really want more stuff like that. And the music, I'll just say finally, is really amazing. Even the unreleased soundtrack for this game is absolutely amazing. I think this is what Middle Eastern music should be. It really feels authentic, it really feels fantastic, and I for one am absolutely enjoying it. Look guys, I'm seeing the reaction right now regarding Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm seeing that many people want more content out of it. I'm seeing that many people want this game to be a bit more. But this game was never meant to be a revolution. What it was meant to be was a return to the old classic Assassin's Creed roots. One could say that this game is more or less Ubisoft gauging of what a normal Assassin's Creed game should be, or what is supposed to be an older Assassin's Creed game, but then they will design the other games with their own sort of unique mechanics. So we may never get a return to full-scale old Assassin's Creed. What we will get is a return to nostalgic Assassin's Creed. What we will get is a return to nostalgic Assassin's Creed. And that's what I feel this game is. It's a return to old, nostalgic Assassin's Creed, but it's not fully Assassin's Creed. But it's not fully the old style Assassin's Creed. At the end though, I say that this is much better than Valhalla. This is a significant improvement over it. And while I love the RPG franchises to everything, even I can admit that sometimes a linear story experience doesn't hurt. A linear story experience is needed. But even that linear story experience needs more content. So I'll be doing everything in my power to get the most out of it. Obviously with the map size it'll be smaller, so you can obviously finish this within at least 2 days. But I'm going to make sure that I complete this game as slow as I can take it. As you see, I've not been doing that great with the combat, but I am working behind the scenes to make sure that I've been working behind the scenes to make sure that I am mastering the combat. And this game is fun. Stealth is fun. I really like having to hide. That stealth combat is so good that it's making me feel, yes, I want to do more and more. I want to explore more of this world. It's a really fascinating world, and I think Ubisoft Bordeaux, even the voice actors, the musicians, all the people that worked on this game have done a fantastic job. I really do wish you would get more content. I really do. So don't forget to leave a like, share, comment and subscribe. I will see you in the next video, and stay tuned for more Assassin's Creed Mirage content because a lot of it is going to come now.